Toto is a hero who possesses great skills, but he has one major problem. He is shy and is never able to approach anyone. So when three beautiful girls join his party, his black and white life is filled with colors. But what he doesn't know is that his three beautiful companions are out for his life. How will he survive? Let's find out. It all begins one day when the Demon King feels extra threatened for no reason. He summons his only daughter, Ciel, and gives her the mission to slay one of the many heroes who are after his life. Among all the heroes, one stands out the most, and the Demon King shows Ciel the information of that hero. Ciel assures her dad that she will get the job done and immediately sets out on the mission. But on the inside, she's actually more excited that she will finally get to explore the outside world and starts planning what she would do and what kind of food she'd eat once she gets there. Meanwhile, in the alleys where light doesn't reach, Anemone, a local assassin, gets a hit job from an organization to kill the same hero. But there's a contingency. Anemone must wear a priest outfit while she does it. Anemone refuses the bounty at first, but when the clients increase the reward substantially, she instantly wears the outfit. Somewhere else, Goa is a sadist woman who does gore things to men, and her biggest hobby is to turn the strongest, biggest men into her pets. But recently, she's been getting too bored as none of the men she's encountering are good enough. One of her servants claims to have spotted a perfect pet for her, and that is the same hero the other two girls are after. Speaking of the hero, he approaches three newbie adventurers, emanating his aura, and asks them if they need a strong companion in their team. All of the adventurers there recognize the hero as Toto and start fangirling over him, requesting autographs. Unfortunately, all of this happens inside Toto's head. In reality, Toto never manages to approach anyone without scaring them. He's way too strong, and that is why no one ever wants to get into trouble by getting near him. Toto becomes upset, thinking he's going to have to do a quest all by himself again. But today is his lucky day, as three hot girls approach him at once, asking if they can join his party. They are, of course, the three assassins after Toto's life, who coincidentally approached him at the same time. They don't know each other, but before they can tell one another to stay out of their business, others at the guild approach them, warning them not to get involved with a dangerous guy like him. Goa replies first, stating she belongs solely to the hero, and literally hugs Toto, frying his brain instantly. The hero stops moving. What just happened? Is he dead already? The girls are shocked, but not the others. The regulars here explain that Toto is extremely shy around women and has fainted due to the touch of a woman. Both Goa and Anemone find this information very interesting, but Ciel is the first one to act. Activating her dark magic, she takes control of Toto while he's fainted and flies away with him to dispose of him outside of people's reach. But Goa and Anemone follow her from the ground with the same speed and are kind of glad that Ciel took Toto out of town, as they can use their full power freely. Anemone, whose skill allows her to manifest guns, summons a grenade machine gun and launches several at Ciel, but she manages to shield both herself and Toto using defensive magic. Ciel comes down to deal with Anemone first, and secretly activates a summoning circle, but before the two are about to engage, Goa decides to join in as well. In secret, she brings out a concoction that she believes will help her get the upper hand. In the meantime, Ciel asks Anemone what her goal is, and after a verbal exchange, they both realize that they are after the same person's life. Goa steps in, telling both of the girls to talk it out and asking them for a temporary truce. Anemone and Ciel both agree and unsummon their magic. But this is exactly what Goa wanted, as she has used the concoction's perfume to paralyze both of them. Ciel barely manages to speak and tells Goa that she's made a big mistake, because Goa has actually interrupted her summoning circle, and now it has gone completely out of control. A dark spider dragon comes out of the magic circle, and it's going to go on a rampage now that Ciel cannot move. Goa tries to get away, but both Ciel and Anemone stop her, not allowing her to leave without giving them the antidote. The three girls are surely about to die, but Toto, comes out of nowhere and decapitates the dragon with a single punch. Toto's overwhelming strength leaves all three girls completely bewildered until he turns around with that risless expression, turning them off instantly. The three of them hug Toto for saving their lives, forgetting the fact that this is going to cause Toto to faint again. He's out for the next couple of minutes, but Ciel suggests they let him live today because her magic has run out, and she also mentions that she found him charming in a way. Anemone and Goa also agree, since Toto did save their lives, so they decide to delay the assassination and, in the meantime, make plans to go back to the city to have lunch together. Even though they're acting like they want to be friends, on the inside, they still consider each other foes. Moving on, Toto is back alive, and they're currently having Ciel's favorite dessert. Goa thinks this is the perfect time for all of them to introduce themselves properly. Ciel volunteers, introducing herself as someone who wants to become a maid. Anemone then claims to be a priest who is on a journey to rescue the lost and helpless. Goa introduces herself as a dancer who's just out here for fun. With the girls' introductions coming to an end, Toto wonders what he should say. In his mind, he imagines himself saying something cool, like he's on a mission to defeat the Demon Lord, and that he's going to protect all three of them while doing so. But he just can't get himself to say it. He tries to speak, but his mouth doesn't open, almost as if he's constipated. Still, Goa hugs him for fun's sake and fries his brain out once again. With Toto out cold, the three assassins go back to reintroducing themselves, this time with no lies. Ciel reveals she's on a mission given by her father, the Demon Lord, to hunt Toto. Anemone then reveals she was just handed Toto as her next target. Lastly, Goa expresses her dream to turn Toto into one of her torture pets. Anemone claims she's no longer interested and leaves, saying she'll cancel the task. Not that Anemone intends to let them be, she just has a perfect plan. Why work with others to kill just a man when you can kill him alone and take the pride of it? Hence, escaping from them and finding means to kill him alone is a perfect plan to her. She smiles to herself as she considers the fact that she would take the glory. Then she runs to the rooftop to find him around. She brings out her gun and looks around the city for her target, but she can't find him. While on her search, she finds something else that takes her attention. She sees two slave traders trying to sell a girl. Her dislike? It's slave trading, so she cannot watch and see it happen. She jumps there, throws a grenade to distract them, and carries the girl away. When she gets to the front, she drops the girl, gives her a sum of money, and asks her to run. She knows that the monster trading her is behind her, and she turns to fight. The monster assumes he is strong, but the first hit from Anemone makes him realize she is stronger. He couldn't imagine he would find such a hindrance while trying to trade a slave, but after going head-to-head with her for a minute, he realizes who she is, Anemone, the great assassin whose likes are money and drinks, and who dislikes slave trading. The fight gets severe for Anemone when the monster starts regenerating. As she fights on, Toto comes there and kills the monster with just a hit. She is shocked. She asks him where he came from, and he reminds her he told her earlier that he would do anything to protect them. Well, she didn't expect he would go that far. She doesn't see any reason to continue that conversation, so she throws him a kiss so he can faint again. As he faints, the other two girls come out and laugh at her. They ask her why she didn't kill the monster. Immediately, she targeted the monster, but she reveals if she had killed him in front of the girl, and the girl sees a head flying around her, she will be injured with the scene for the rest of her life. Wow, I have never seen a kind assassin. She reveals that the world is a crazy place, and all she wants to do is earn money and make the world a better place. And for that reason, she will ensure she is the one that kills Toto and takes the money. She forges at him to stab him while he is standing, but her knife breaks just around him. She pretends as if she is just tired and attempts to walk away, but they laugh at her. Ciel advises that since they have the same target, they can all lodge at a hotel. By the time they get there, they find out Goa had booked just one room. Anemone isn't interested in the tussle of who will sleep on the same bed with Toto, so she excuses herself. Ciel doesn't also care about all of that, so she excuses herself too. Before she leaves, Goa makes jokes that she can just kill all of them and leave before morning, but Ciel doesn't care because she knows she is probably the only one who can kill Toto. She excuses herself and Goa sets into action. She doesn't intend to kill Toto. Instead, she wants to make him a slave. She has an injection that if she uses, he will become her subject within 5 minutes. She injects him and goes for her bath. By the time she returns, she sees he still hasn't woken up. She doesn't believe that her injection wouldn't work, so she is sure she has it all under her cover. Since he hasn't woken up, she removes her clothes and dances in front of him nude so she can trigger him to wake up. She sees he isn't shaking at all, so she goes further. She sits on the bed and crosses her legs. She calls him a dog and commands him to come and lick her leg. As though her drug is working, he walks towards her. However, he doesn't bend to lick her legs, but he lays on her and pins her to the bed. The scene entices her. She isn't sure if her drug is working at the moment or if it isn't, but she knows that what he is doing to her is exactly what she wants, and it makes her feel good. When Toto wakes up, he sees her unclad, and he gets scared and faints again, right beside her. The other two girls arrive and laugh at her. Anemone insists that Ciel is a kid who doesn't understand what she just saw, but Ciel insists she isn't a kid. Goa wonders if they aren't scared of her because of what she had just done, but they laugh again. For Anemone, if Goa tries anything funny, she will kill her, while Ciel still believes she is the only one that can kill Toto, so they are no competition to her. Anemone cannot let a child speak to her that way, so they argue and bring out their weapons to fight. Goa controls them, begging them not to wake Toto with their fight. Ciel suggests they end the fight in a big girl manner. She goes to her luggage and brings several snacks and games. Anemone laughs at her for taking all of that along every time, and she reveals that she has never had the opportunity to meet friends and play, and that moment is special to her. She realizes it will make them figure they are important to her, so she quickly retracts her words and says it is nothing. Anemone wishes to be convinced to play with her, so she refuses to join the game. When she sees that they are ready to play as a duo and she will be left out, she shamelessly offers to join, and they let her in. Toto wakes up sometime later and wonders what he has been going through. He insists that it is all a dream, and there is no way three beautiful ladies will be interested in joining his team. However, by the time he turns to his side, he sees them sleeping there, and he faints again. It is a team of impeccable people, with the ever-dependable hero Toto as the head of the team, Anemone, who is dressed as a priest, and she is the one who slays every enemy, Ciel, who is their mage and priest, and Goa, a bad woman that you can never be bored around. This is an interesting team, and I will love to see more of them. Goa wakes up way later than Anemone and Ciel and gets critiqued by the two girls who call her lazy. But Goa, seeing that Toto is lying on the ground, states that Toto is lazier than her, not realizing that Toto's actually been knocked out cold because of their existence. Anemone comments that maybe there isn't any need to assassinate this guy, because if this trope keeps going, the shy hero will ultimately lose all his blood from nosebleeds and die naturally. But none of them want to allow that, so they immediately bring out their weapons to be the one to finish the job. Ciel tells both Goa and Anemone to back off, saying she's the one more deserving, because she's the Demon Lord's daughter. Anemone, however, believes she is much more worthy because she holds a 99.99% success rate as an assassin. And lastly, Goa states that as the master of Pleasure Palace, it should be her who takes all the pleasure. As the three girls are in a total deadlock, Toto regains consciousness, catching all of them off guard. They together wish the hero a good morning, forgetting that this would be just enough to knock him out once more. Anyway, they postpone their mission for now and get ready for another day of adventure. As they are about to head out, Goa, as usual, is the most excited and noisy among them, causing both Ciel and Anemone to get headaches. They complain about Goa being too noisy in the mornings and get into a playful argument while the shy hero contemplates whether he can survive with these three princesses in his team since he's already fainted twice today. Ciel notices how tense he looks and asks him if something's wrong. The other girls express their concerns as well, and seeing how much they look up to him, quite literally, he wants to give it his very best to live up to their expectation. Before going on an adventure, they register at the Adventurers Guild, where the girls make Toto their party leader. Toto, as expected, faints after simply interacting with the guild receptionist. The girls worry for him, and when he regains consciousness, they tell him that now that he's their leader officially, he should start acting like one. The receptionist calls them over, approving them as a party, and now they can officially begin their journey. Before leaving, Goa explains the generic guild quest rules, and since they are newbies, they are currently at rank E and must climb up the ranks to become qualified for any serious missions. Currently, they can only take minor quests like slaying slimes or gathering herbs, but that's too boring, and Ciel wants to get to S rank already, wanting to take some hardcore missions to pass her time. Since there isn't any cheat code to the top, they must work hard and immediately get started. Ciel, at the last second, deliberately hugs Toto and knocks him out, then asks the other girls if they really need to play buddy-buddy and go adventuring together. She reminds them of their goal. And so, the girls get serious once again, but they know they'll end up fighting each other like the previous day, so Anemone suggests a solution. They will each get a day for themselves to assassinate Toto, to which Ciel and Goa agree. To decide who will get the opportunity today, they play a game of rock, paper, scissors. The winner is Ciel, and when Toto wakes up, He finds himself sitting on a bench with Ciel beside the city river. Toto's social anxiety sends him spiraling over what he should say to her. He imagines himself saying something heroic that will impress Ciel, but ends up only asking her where Anemone and Goa have gone. Ciel claims that the two other girls have gone away to look for a proper quest, and she is here to keep an eye on him in the meantime. Toto thanks her, then proceeds to stay silent super awkwardly for the next 10 minutes. Ciel once again tries to make conversation, asking Toto what drove him to become an adventurer. Toto, with zero confidence, states that he became an adventurer thinking he would become confident enough to talk to people one day. Ciel relates to him, recalling her days back in the Demon Lord's castle when she felt like an outcast, even though she is the crown princess. I guess her dad doesn't have enough money to buy her growth hormones like Messi's dad, and that's why she's been outcasted her whole life. Still, she claims to Toto she's brimming with confidence, and motivates Toto to do better as well. Toto apologizes for being so useless most of the time, but Ciel tells him that he's good enough as he's protected the three of them multiple times already. Toto's eyes unintentionally look down at her plot, and as a result, he gets knocked out again, disappointing Ciel. Goa and Anemone come back, stating they have taken a spring cave quest from a blacksmith, believing this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Ciel to assassinate the shy hero. However, Anemone thinks Ciel is not up for the task, believing that Ciel has grown attached to Toto. Ciel, in reply, tells Anemone that she has no brain cells for assuming something so absurd, and mocks her. As both of them are about to get into a serious fight, Goa stops them, telling them to just focus on their main goal. Later, Toto and the group head to an E-ranked dungeon, and they are here to collect iron ores. Toto, acting like a man, tells the girls that he will be going inside first, and asks them to follow him, as Toto keeps a good amount of distance from the girls inside the cave to keep himself from getting stun-locked. The girls take this opportunity to ask Ciel if she's got another plan to kill Toto. Ciel doesn't want to spoil her plan, so Anemone states her guess that Ciel is going to summon a wyvern, or a golem, that's going to do the job for her. Ciel says that she's not going to do something so excessive, and reveals that she intends to use slimes. As the first slime approaches Toto, both Goa and Anemone wonder if this is some kind of stupid joke since Toto is one of the strongest heroes. But Ciel is certain that her plan is going to work, and just then, many more slimes appear. With dozens of them in sight, Ciel eagerly waits to see how the shy hero is going to perform. The shy hero, clenching his fist, punches the slimes, and, in a matter of seconds, destroys all of them, leaving both Goa and Anemone wondering what Ciel thought was going to happen. Ciel explains her strategy by first pointing out the fact that Toto never used weapons when he fought the slimes and the dragon the previous day, and that means Toto always fights barehanded. Ciel only used the slimes to confirm this theory, and now that she is certain, she states that fighting barehanded will cause Toto to have certain weaknesses. For instance, resistance to physical damage, and Ciel believes that if Toto encounters a way bigger viscous slime, he will become helpless. But since these super slimes don't naturally spawn in an E-ranked dungeon, Ciel summons one herself, while Toto's not paying attention to them, and then uses her strengthening magic on that slime to make it even stronger. Now, Ciel, with a smug grin on her face, eagerly awaits to see if Toto's punches will be effective anymore. Toto, to protect the girls from danger, attacks the slime and punches it with full force, but the slime withstands the attack using its elasticity, making Toto realize that slimes this big are resilient to physical damage. Apparently, this slime is the Slime Emperor, and once it's touched, it doesn't let go of its prey, and Toto, who technically touched the slime when punching it, now has his hand completely stuck inside it. Ciel decides to give Toto a heads up, acting innocent, warning him that this slime digests everything by consuming them in their inside. Hearing that, Toto realizes that he is going to lose his hand if he doesn't take action, so he thinks quick and literally launches the slime above him. He then whirls it around him, using the slime's own weight to gain momentum, and then smacks it against the wall. However, the slime doesn't die, and as its body ricochets, most of its parts get stuck to Toto's hand and lower body, leaving him completely immobile. Ciel smiles menacingly, thinking she has won, but the shy hero has something else up his sleeve. He starts shouting, "Let me go," repeatedly, and screams the phrase so loudly that the slime is completely vaporized, leaving the three girls stunned. If this guy can kill someone just by using their voice, can they really defeat him? Ciel finally gives up, and so Goa suggests they now move on to do the actual quest and collect the iron ores they were tasked with. However, after much exploration and mining, they don't find any until Anemone notices some cracks on the walls, leading to an iron vein. Toto steps up to extract the ores and uses his fists instead of a pickaxe, showing how strong he is. After collecting a full bag of iron, they bring it back to the client, who was in the middle of trading the iron with another adventurer. That adventurer only brought 3, so he's completely terrified to see how much Toto has brought here. In any case, the client thanks Toto and his team and encourages him to keep up his good work. On their way back, Ciel hesitantly asks Toto how he grew this strong, and Toto awkwardly replies that he just lifted weights relentlessly his entire life, meaning all of this came with hard work. The adventurer who got terrified earlier comes there, wanting to shoot his shot with the 3 girls, asking them to join him instead of a shy loser like Toto, promising that he will take good care of them. The girls, however, aren't interested at all, and they, in unison, give a death stare to the guy, making him piss his pants and run away for his life. The girls then turn to Toto, telling him not to be demotivated, and Toto, in reply, vows to do his best not to disappoint them. As they arrive at the town of Dosa, Goa whispers in Anemone's ear, asking her whose turn it will be to assassinate Toto now that Ciel has failed. Anemone wants to be the next one to do it, but Goa doesn't agree, since the 3 of them agreed to play rock, paper, scissors to determine whose turn it's going to be. Deciding to play by the rules, the girls engage in another never-ending game of rock, paper, scissors, while Toto wonders what's gotten into them suddenly. Goa comes out as the winner, and so Ciel and Anemone leave the 2 be, making the excuse that they have some stuff to do. Toto hesitates to walk alone with a hottie like Goa, and she teases him because of it, hugging him with her melons and asking if he doesn't like being alone with her. Normally, Toto's system would get completely fried, but it seems he's developed some resistance over time. He's still as shy as ever, and so it takes him forever to tell her that he does like spending time with her. In any case, Goa wants to have lunch together with Toto, and Toto, being delusional as ever, thinks that she wants to go on a date with him. This turns out to be true, as Goa embraces him, telling him that this is indeed going to be a date, and that does the job, knocking out the shy hero unconscious instantly. Once Toto regains consciousness, Goa brings him to a local bar and serves him a drink mixed with one of her sussy concoctions. As Toto drinks up, Goa eagerly waits for the effects to work on Toto, but it doesn't for some reason. As she stares eagerly right into his soul, Toto assumes that she wants him to say something since they are on a date. Toto, as usual, first imagines himself saying something charming and heroic that will make her completely fall in love with him, but of course, he fails, as he makes the expression that makes him look like he's constipated. Goa thinks that her concoction is finally working, but it's just the shy hero being awkward as usual. She can't believe her drug didn't work on Toto, but she doesn't give up yet and gives Toto some grilled meat to eat that's been mixed with drugs that can fry a person's brain with feelings of detachment and paranoia. However, just like before, the drug doesn't work on the seemingly immune shy hero. Goa then feeds him a sandwich that has a drug inside that can send anyone into a coma for at least a week, but just like before, Toto feels nothing, and so Goa accepts her defeat, learning a new fact. Toto is immune to all sorts of status effects. Goa's goal technically isn't to kill Toto, but to make him fall for her, so that she can turn him into her pet. But at this rate, she thinks she is never going to succeed at it. Toto approaches her with some tea, and Goa, desperate, asks him directly if he loves her. Toto almost faints hearing this question, but manages to stay awake and asks Goa why she's asking him something like that. Goa uses her authority, ordering Toto to become her dog, but it doesn't work on Toto, and he tells her that he cannot do something like that. This leaves Goa completely heartbroken, and as her tears drop on her melons, a rather important detail, she realizes how cruel she is, so she requests Toto not to hate her. Toto clarifies, stating that he does want to become her dog, but if he does so, he will no longer be able to protect her. He bites his own hand to turn into a titan? Kidding. It's to stop himself from fainting, and then he tells Goa how much she and the 2 other girls mean to him, much more than his own life. His bold determination makes Goa happy again, and as she thanks him, calling him her dear hero, he finally reaches his limit and gets knocked out completely. Later, when Toto wakes up, he finds Goa standing before him, and she tells him that they should now go meet up with Ciel and Anemone. Toto notices that there's a flower on top of a bandage where he bit his hand, and Goa explains that this was her little thank you gift for hearing her out. Bro obviously faints again, and when he wakes up, it's almost 7 p.m. They meet up with Ciel and Anemone, and while Ciel takes Toto away to eat some dessert, Anemone stays behind and asks Goa if she failed as well. Goa explains that even though she has failed, she had fun and wants to continue having fun with her shy hero. As she then joins back with Toto, holds his hand, and asks him to share a room with her later tonight. Ciel wonders if Goa went on an actual date with Toto instead of trying to kill him. In any case, the next day, it's Anemone's turn, and this time, Goa proposes that they stick to this order of Ciel, Goa, then Anemone, so that the assassination game stays fair. Anemone agrees with anything because she's certain she's going to put an end to this game today by killing Toto. Ciel doesn't think that's going to happen, so she walks away, deciding to prepare for her turn, which will come the next day. Goa, on the other hand, who knows her concoctions aren't going to work on Toto, seems to have given up on the assassination idea, so she decides to tag along with Ciel and see for herself what Ciel is going to do. Anemone brings Toto to a forest alone on a herb collection quest, making the excuse that Ciel and Goa will stay back at the inn to rest because they have stomach pain. As they reach deep inside the forest, both wonder what they should say as they've been awkwardly walking for the past half hour in silence. Anemone is bad at making small talk, while Toto is nervous because he's never been alone with her, so neither of them knows what to say. While Anemone and Toto are having an awkward day, Ciel and Goa are having a hell of a day. Being the sweet tooth that she is, Ciel loves the food Goa has taken her to get, and she eats it happily. She appreciates Goa for plugging her to that spot, but doesn't forget Goa's love for charms and spells, so she tells her that she's using a magic that repels charms. If Goa thinks she will get her, then she's a liar. Goa defends herself, saying she isn't fetish, she just loves charms. They talk and laugh until a strange man approaches, asking why they're still talking. United, they tell him to fuck off, insisting they aren't a nuisance and are just talking. The man wonders if they don't understand the situation. He tries to caution them again, but they don't reply. Meanwhile, Anemone keeps thinking about what conversation to have with Toto. She's bored and wishes she could get high, but because she's pretending to be a priest, she can't do that. He asks her what she likes, and she says booze and money. He's shocked, so she immediately retracts her words and pretends like she didn't mean it. Needing to cover the awkward moment, she asks what he likes too. He says lifting weights, a hobby she considers petty. Back at the restaurant, the man keeps pestering the girls, but they don't care. He finally points to the back and shows them that robbers are actively robbing the place. Still, the girls remain unfazed. The awkward conversation continues. Anemone finds the silence uncomfortable and decides to get to the point. She asks Toto how he got the scar on his face, a question that throws him off and makes him uncomfortable. Back at the restaurant, the head of the thieves, Zach, storms in and accuses the girls of being disrespectful, asking if they know who he is. He brags about being a former B-ranked adventurer. Goa laughs off his so-called ability, and Ciel asks if being B-rank is even impressive. Goa explains it's like being in the top 100 out of 1,000. Not that great. The girls laugh it off, but Zach gets angry and tries to attack Ciel. Her magic dispels his attack easily. She turns to him, asking if he even knows who he's trying to fight. He doesn't back down and jumps at her again, but this time both girls jump him together and land a hit. Ciel wants to finish the fight alone, but Goa reminds her Zach will have a bounty on his head, so she advises her to take him alive instead. Back on the date, Anemone realizes the question made him uncomfortable and wants to withdraw it, but he answers anyway. He says the scar came from a monster attack. He lost everything to monsters. His family, his home, even his confidence. He had his bad times too. Anemone is shocked by all he's gone through and asks if he wants revenge, but he says no. He just wants to regain his confidence and prove that he's worth something, that surviving wasn't a mistake. She agrees he's right. They arrive at their destination. Toto jumps to pick the herbs they came for, and Anemone watches him with pity. She didn't know he'd gone through that much despite also coming from nothing, but despite how pitiable his story is, her mission comes first. He still has to die. She walks up to him and breathes on his neck so he'll faint and she can do her job. Back at the restaurant, Zach finally realizes Ciel's magic is out of his league. Even as a former B-rank adventurer, he's never seen magic like that. He turns to his crew for help, but they're now under Goa's influence and are tending to her needs. Ciel strikes Zach with a hammer spell, and he collapses immediately. She's disappointed. He talked big but wasn't strong at all. To calm her down, Goa offers her sweets as usual. In the forest, Anemone brings out a bomb she grew herself. It's powerful enough to blow up anything, and it grows depending on where it's placed. She plants it on Toto and watches it expand, curious how big it will get. Back at the restaurant, the owners thank Ciel and Goa. Not that they did it for them, but still, Goa suggests handing over the bandits to the authorities to collect the bounty and repair the restaurant damages. The owners appreciate the help and offer the girls dinner. That's all fine for Ciel, but she reminds Goa that Toto must never know their true strength. She asks Goa to use her drugs to wipe the waiter's memories. Goa does just that, and they leave without the staff recognizing them. Ciel finally sees the value of Goa's herbs. Despite her own power, she can't alter memories. She asks to learn herb making, and Goa takes her to a forest to teach her. Clumsy Seal mixes the wrong herbs and creates poison. Meanwhile, the bomb Anemone planted keeps growing, so much so that if it explodes, it'll consume her too. She panics and cuts it off Toto's body so he'll wake up. She yells for him to throw it far away. He does, and the bomb explodes on a mountain. At the same time, the poisonous herb Ciel made explodes nearby. The explosion is intense. Toto gets burned shielding Anemone, and she shocked his body withstood it. Without him, she would have died. She sighs in relief, grateful he saved her, but he faints again. Toto realizes the herbs they gathered were destroyed, so he goes to find more. He wonders what happened. On their way back, Anemone lies that a monster had placed the bomb on him and escaped. He apologizes for not being there for her. They expect the girls to be shocked by his condition, but when they see the girls, they're burned too. Ciel complains that she's done with herb lessons, but Goa persistently convinces her otherwise. Let's see if she gives in. For their next adventure, they're heading to the dungeon. Ciel isn't worried about the dungeon itself. What bothers her is that there's a food spot nearby she'd rather visit. Too bad they chose the dungeon instead.